sometimes I will just take and boil my water and pour it over I will fill my pan, and I will just boil the water and put it over the top and let them sit for about a minute. And then the skin starts to slip off. Another way is I can dip them individually in the pan and just bring them out. I let them sit for about 30 to 50 seconds.
After you bring them out?
No,
in the water.
Okay. In boiling water, about 30 to 50 seconds. I don't want to cook my fruit. And if you're worried about doing that, you can also have a pan of cold water right next. So as soon as you put it into the hot water, then you're going to bring it out and put it in cold. But if you've never slipped skins, and you know that peeling peaches, yeah, sometimes they're really ripe and they peel pretty quickly. They'll do what? They're probably, but. And you waste a little bit. One thing, sometimes when I make jam, if I really like more of an intensive flavor, I will buy a package of Kool-Aid and add it for flavor.
Of the same flavor as the fruit you're doing?
Yeah. I was going to buy peach till there. Didn't find it. Raspberries in there. So we will put the extra flavor. You can see that takes me a few minutes to do this. So as soon as we get boiling water, you will see the real amazing difference. And the same thing, tomatoes slip just the same as the peaches do. But I would probably never do fruit if I didn't slip the skins. It's just too long. Also, I have heard that if you take a fruit and you put a little X on the bottom before you slip it, that it's supposed to almost come off by itself. And of course, you know, how ripe your fruit is will make a difference on how long you're going to let it sit in water too. Ripe fruit definitely slips faster than your fruit that's just good and firm still. Way too impatient. And actually, I really like to put them in the pan and then just pour a whole thing over them, and then I don't have to.
So they need to be in a pan deep enough that they can be covered?
They will. And I sometimes, if it's like this, and this really is a pan that I've done them in for a lot of years, I put them in, let them sit them in, and then just turn them. I don't want to leave them sitting. You know, I want to be sure that I'm right there doing them so that they don't sit a tremendous amount of time. And sometimes by the time I'm done, they're starting to get a little bit cold.
leave them with that much time though, there's a difference.
But you can see even that. And that wasn't left quite. Sometimes those skins they just come off almost by themselves. But it makes a real difference in the amount of waste. And if you have a bruise like this, and if I were bottling these peaches, I would not worry about it. A bruise will cook out in a peach. Okay, now a great big one, I cut that little one off there, but that's not big enough that I would worry. I would go ahead and put it in my bottle, either in halves or if I wanted to quarter them. And I just use a bottle like that, and usually when I start, I take and I like a half a cup of water to, a half a cup of sugar to a cup of water. I don't like a real heavy syrup, and that's just kind of a minimal. And I put that in the bottom of my jar, and I use a boiling water, and so it dissolves my sugar right off. And then I fill it with my peaches, and then any room that's left, I take and just add water over the top. I put a knife down to just kind of make sure I don't have any air bubbles around it. And then I put my lid. When I'm ready to put it in the water bath, then I put my lids on. So I don't put my lids on right every time I do it. I wait in between. And I always go back and wash around the ring. Always I take a damp cloth and wash this, because if you have any fruit left on the top there, you're not going to get a seal. So once that's filled, it has water on it. I fill my water bath about halfway up with warm water. I put my jars in. I put enough water that it covers them. And then I put it on high and get it up to
Doesn't
the
matter what
boil.
temperature water you put inside the jar?
No, I usually boiling just because I want my sugar to dissolve. If you don't, your sugar may not dissolve as well. It's still fine to eat, but you can see my tomato slipped really good, almost by itself.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see it makes a real difference if you're going to slip your fruit.
Would you do that before drying also? Or canning?
Now, if I did, I would absolutely have cold to put it in. If I was doing a tomato and I slip it, I would take it from there, I would put it in, I might slip it and I would put it in cold water, and then cut it and put it on my tray. Okay, well, I think you guys need to come and slip it. And we'll hurry and lay it down when you guys get in here and slip it. Okay? So, you need to come and try one. You can just see that sometimes you don't even need a knife. They'll just come right off.
So you can leave them in there for too long?
What?
You can leave them.
You can start to cook them, yes. And if you're going to put them in a canner, that's not terribly serious. And even some of your jams you're going to cook first. But you don't want to cook it much. You just want to
Now,
leave
if
it
you
long
wanted
enough to
to
slip your
freeze
skin.
them, like those peaches, without the skins,
Uh-huh.
what you're doing, is that more than blanching?
I do just like this.
And then just
And
put
then
them
I
in
just
the
go ahead
bags?
and slice them, put them on a tray. And these, they're cool enough that I wouldn't even need to put that in ice, because they haven't cooked through very far.
Oh, you put them on a tray so that you could get them out individually, right?
I could just put them right on a tray just like this. If I'm worried about the color, I can dip them in something, but really and truly, if you freeze them quite quickly, your color doesn't change on a lot of things very much. Okay, you guys, now here, take it. You've got to take and slip something here.
Okay, so we take one of these and put it in the water.
Uh-huh.
You frozen peach would taste good. Without the skin on it, you know?
We need to put the X on these. Or did you already?
I didn't. And I'm not sure that they
It's
say
just to
do
break
it,
the
but-
skin, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not just easier to get it started.
You cook them to get started. And I'm just going to use this that's kind of a cheating method because it's fast and easy. Well, because I'm going to make some more just a jam.
A jam, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had much luck with using the Splenda?
Yes,
You have?
I do. I do, and I like Splenda really well, and especially with the sugar-free. Yep.
So you use Splenda and then that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is the name of that listed anywhere on anything?
You know what, I do have a paper that tells about it.
Okay, it will be on one of our papers.
Yeah, okay. And you know what, I don't have enough of them, so you may want to copy those, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You've got one right there, it's instant clear gel, and it just tells you how to use it, because it's really, one thing about that, you don't have to have the proper amounts when you do it. You can just, because you can put how much sugar you want in it, and then you just put enough gel in to thicken it. See what it was. There are recipe books, you can use it as a, it also retains moisture, so there's a lot of things to use it as. I think it's great to have it in storage, because if you ever had to make gravies or soups.
At home, would you
It's great.
put that in the blender, or would you do it like that?
It would depend. My strawberries I don't, because I like my strawberries. And raspberries, raspberries go really fast. Peaches, yeah, they're chunky enough that I probably do them in that blender. And what's really good to do for jam is if you have really ripe fruit, it juices up really well. Now these juiced up nice too, but sometimes when you've got real ripe fruit, you don't want to use it for bottling because it just isn't quite as pretty. It might have a lot of bruises. It's great for jam. Sure, just put it in there.
Do you ever mix fruit?
You bet.
Like do a strawberry peach or whatever?
And sometimes when you use this, it's going to tell you that you have to add some lemon juice to some of them because your fruits will have a lot of different acid. So, so now you know how to slick these skins. Never bother with that. It's way too long. One thing I like about being able to use this is I like the freshness of jam, the fruit flavor. And sometimes when you add a lot of sugar to it, it takes away a little bit of the freshness and leaves it just more sugary. So I'm going to add maybe 2 cups of sugar. Maybe just blend it down to the good one. Dissolve my sugar. And on that paper, it gives you a rough estimate of how much it is.
Now, you always have to use sugar, even if you use the clear gel, you have to use some sugar.
If you want to use that, you don't have to. No, it'll thicken without.
Okay.
Mhm.
But with the sure gel, you do need sugar.
With sure gel, you could do it without any
Oh, really?
sugar.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. If you're using a Pepton recipe, you have to use just about the amount of sugar it says because it has to do with velocity and it just will not gel if you don't put the methods that it tells you to. And then remember that if you are doing this and processing it, you're going to fill them up just a ½ inch. You're going to water bath it for 10 minutes and then you're going to take it out of the water bath and you tip it upside down. Okay?
Kim, you want to go try that?
Because it's a fruit, you don't have to pressure cook it. You can just water bath it.
Yep. And some of them you really even add a little lemon juice to, so just depending on what the recipe, because the fruits have different levels of acid.
We got strawberry jam. My teenage kids do it. None of us want to see no strawberry.
Oh, really? You must have done a lot of it, because that's one they really like.
We got way too many.
Did you freeze it?
Yeah, we did a freeze strawberry jam. We love.
Yes, it's great. And this would be a good one just to freeze now, just the way it is. I wouldn't have to do anything else, so it's quicker. I
You
didn't
could
have to
just
cook
pour
it.
it in and not have to do the water bath like
Right, no.
we do with our strawberry, frozen strawberry jam.
If you wanted to freeze it,
Should
I
have done
just
that
keep
with
it in your
peaches.
fridge.
So strawberries, you would have to water
You
bath
freeze
before
it and then
freeze
put it in your
No.
fridge, or?
No. You
Leave
could
it
put it
just
in
like
your
that.
fridge, or you
Just
could
pour
just
them in
freeze
jars
it.
and freeze it.
You don't have to process it at all, just
That's one thing I've ever done, and that's because I did it
So
with
if you
Tara.
have a
She
great
showed
big
me how.
freezer, freezing
Maybe
is a
with
lot
someone.
easier than canning.
Freezing is great. If you, you know, the shelf life on freezing food is not as long as canning food.
Oh, okay.
Your ice crystals are going to grow.
Yeah.
You can honestly keep some things in cans and bottles for a good 20 years. In the freezer, it's going to be pretty freezer burn by the end.
I want to come to your house and watch you do chicken and beef and things.
Yeah, well, you're gonna do that. We
Go to
do
the-
send out a little memo.
You know, it's really just easy. You just cut it off, debone it, put it in the bottles, put your liquid over it, put it in a pressure cooker.
Just water?
Or you can use some stuff if you want. Usually I don't. I put a little bit of flavor. You know, sometimes I'll put a tiny bit of.
I like the idea of being able to put whatever
Seasoning, salt,
spices you want. You have
things
different
like that.
flavored meats. That's kind of a good idea. Make like a Spanish one and a.
My mother-in-law, she does the homemade chicken noodle soup, and she just has her canned chicken already there, just already ready. She pours it in her noodles, and it's done.
Yep.
I think that sounds better than frozen meat,
Yeah.
because frozen meat always is a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
tastes funny when you defrost it.
It does.
Texture's funny.
And it does
I
not
think they'll
dissolve.
probably pick it up in just a few minutes and dissolve. So anyway, we've got some paper cups. I should have brought some. You guys can take this home. Because I don't know what else we'll do with peaches. And then if anybody wants just a raw peach, a fresh peach there, go ahead. Okay. Some of you did not slip peach.
Can.
Sorry.
I did tomato and it was cool. It just like fell right off.
It does. Do you think you can look at the cups in the church?
Probably not.
I don't know. Well, you just gotta try it and become expert preservers.
The hard thing is just doing it the first time. It is intimidating.
Just remember when you do these, you're gonna wash your bottles off before, make sure you put the seal on, put your lid on it. And then, one thing you do need to do after you've cooked it, cool it down, before you store it, take your lid off and wash around the lid because it will leak out a little bit and be sticky. And you need to do that. Actually, you can store it without the ring if you want to. But take it off and wash it. And what that does is it just prevents, sometimes your seal might break on it, but if it's stuck on,
When do you do that?
you won't really know that. Oh,
Just
like the
after
next day
you-
before you store it.
Oh, okay.
Just take it off and wash around it. And if you ever enter them in the fair, that is one of the things we really always have to do. First thing you do is you take the ring off to make sure that they have washed around it and got rid of the sticky that comes off it. And that's just a safety precaution so that it stays sealed. And good. All right, you guys will come and.
So even though some of it will come out, the seal will be okay?
Yes. And there are a number of reasons. Sometimes when you do it in this, if you release the steam too fast, you're going to also pull some of the liquid out of your bottles. You know, there's just some things like that that happen. And sometimes your lid might be a little off-centered and it's going to leak out. Well, you guys, come on.
This is just for us to take and eat.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
And if you ever need to have your pressure gauge, if you get an old pressure cooker and you want to have it test it, just bring it down to my office and we just put it on and make sure that the gauge is working.
Just the rule is to keep it an inch from the top when you're pressuring it.
Now what?
To keep it an inch from the top of the jar when you're pressuring it.
Uh-huh. All fruits and vegetables you want down, and it's really just about right at the neck. Now when you put jams in, you're going to put them up a little bit higher.
Okay.
But anything else, you just put right down.
How does that prevent your pressure cooking from exploding? I've heard these horror stories.
I
of
know,
it,
right.
and it's
Well,
scary.
first of all,
I'm
you check
scared.
it to make sure it's doing the right pressure. And then you cook it to the, you don't let it go over, 15 pounds. Some people
So what do you do, if
just
it's
turn it
getting
on.
too much, you just turn down the
You
temperature?
do, and usually once you get it up to temperature, you're going to cook between almost a medium and medium low. That's how low you bring it down there, and it holds. Yes, if you left it up on high, you would be in trouble.
So it's something you have to
So
watch really close.
You have to watch it a little bit, yes.
She said, well, once you kind of see that it's staying there,
You
you
know,
just
you're gonna
come back and check it every now and then.
maybe every 15 minutes and check it.
I never learned how to use a pressure cooker. I was never taught, but when I went to Brazil, all the Brazilians cook their beans every day in a pressure cooker, and I used it every single day and never learned how to do it and never had any.
Yeah, and that's probably the pressure cooker that they cook the meals in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're great, they're fast. We don't use them as much in America, but they're really funny to come back.
So you start it on high and get it going and then turn it down.
When I would put my cockpit on, then I turn it down. I just really start to watch it. In this one, I do not cover my jars, okay? This one I cover it. It's a water bath. This one just puts, and it usually tells you your cooker will tell you, you're only going to have it about up to there. Because what you're doing is making steam. You're cooking with steam inside of this one compared to hot water.
So are you losing more nutrients probably in that one than you would bring it quicker in a pressure cooker?
Probably this keeps your nutrients more.
So you start with the little thing off.
Yes, and bring it up to, when you get it started to boil, you get the steam coming out of the top. That's why you know it's boiling, the steam starts coming out of this. Then you turn it down and put your,
And then
Well,
so
what
no
happens
steam
if you
coming after that?
start with the cockpit on
It's
it?
like she puts roast in it. Is that different?
okay, it is, because those are small ones and you can, well, mine, I close it down. It is an automatic one kind of that goes in my pressure cooker when I do a roast. And so, the steam comes down, but you don't have the option of putting it on afterwards. Now, my old one I used to, I'd let the steam come out first, and then I put the pressure gauge on top of it. And that's just so you know what stage you're to. In this, I would always bring it up to a boil and make sure I had a good steam before I put that.
It'd be a while before I'm brave enough to do that.
I'm just always scared.
Yeah, when
I've
one of you
heard
guys
these
does
stories.
it,
Horror
it's come along.
stories.
It's like, oh no, I'm not going to use a
They're
pressure
not.
cooker.
You know what? Really and truly, the only way it's going to explode on you is if you leave it unattended or if you leave it on high. And you're going to let that, but if you leave it on high, it's going to go past 15 pounds. And yes, past 15 pounds for a very long period of time, it can explode.
A lot of bad things happen if you don't watch what you're cooking.
But you're going to,
That's
you're
why I
going to
have a
watch
crock
it.
stall.
I go back to the bathroom and come back and burn your kitchen down. Ask me, I did it.
I wouldn't leave it on and go to the store for a couple of hours.
That's what a crock pot's for, right?
Yeah, that was me and I told them that. But it's okay, They told me like, oh, what? And then it ended up $20,000 in insurance.
Okay, well, give it a try, you guys. Be brave. We'll do great. Who knows, someday we may be able to have it. That's what I keep finishing.
She's the one that asked for it.
Thank
Kim
you.
started it.
So we just bring our old pressure cookers down there and you determine if they're
And you don't
worthy.
have, all you have to do is bring the lid. You don't have to bring the whole pan, okay?
Okay.
Now, and that's if it has a gauge. This one, I do not test because it just has,
Does
One
yours
of
have a
these.
gauge that tells you what's at?
see,
My
okay?
grandmother's has no
See,
idea.
Yeah,
once
I
my
would.
steam
I'll
comes
bet
up
it's
and this goes on,
That's a
and
gauge.
then I
No.
watch it,
No.
it will kind of rock back and forth.
Yeah.
And it, and I just want to make sure that it keeps rocking, okay? So you don't need to keep it at pressure. I really like the gauges better, I do. But
So you have to listen for the little noise?
Yeah, you'll hear it.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not quite as noisy. But you can hear
You
it.
do hear
when
them.
you got your stick.
The ones with the, or my mom used to cook with one and it made the little sound, with, like it did.
Whistling.
Well, yeah, it's like,
Yeah, they will. That's your steam coming out. So that's a good sound. That means it's
it sounded like a train, kind of like a. Yeah.
so. If I was going to buy one for myself that I really wanted to use, I'd have another gauge.
And you can only, how many jars can you do at a time?
Usually 8.
Like a bunch.
And a lot of them are taller. You could level 2. I know a lot of people will do double pints.
So if you did a whole bunch and you had them in jars, you can just let those sit while this is doing its thing, and then you take those out and you put some more in. They can just sit, right? Anyway.
And just don't put the lid on them until you're ready to put them inside. Because what they will tend to do is if they're hot, they're going to start to seal, and it will not be nearly a good enough seal. So just don't put your lid on until you're ready to do it. And like I said, if you get them out and you've got 3 that didn't seal, you can go ahead and put them in a cleaning process jar. Open the jar, put it in, put a new lid, and reprocess it. Now, yeah, that double cooks your food, you know.
Or just
you
use
can
it
do it,
with
or you
the-
can just use it. Put them in your fridge.
Okay.
Great.
Well, thank you. This was very educational.
That was great.
It was.
knew I'd come to you.
I learned a lot.
We didn't have a food dryer, but it's dry real good. Did you have one? Yeah, there, shoot up, or is it just, it's just the heat on the bottom? So we'll have to rotate the trays all the time, and that's when they have to flip the food and stuff. Yeah.
In St. George, you just put it outside. Yeah, and Logan,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
little harder to drive.
I bet it was on that, or, you know, some people, I've heard, especially on, like, YouTube is doing,